What up, y'all? It's your girl, and I'm back with another episode of A Deeper Dive with Key. This is take 2. Hopefully my neighbors ain't loud again, and I gotta restart it. But, it is what it is. That's what happens when you live in an apartment, child. That is what happens. Anywho, I was just reflecting today, and I had a revelation. Just as I start, do y'all be doing something, and then questions to the answers that you answers. I say questions to the answers, child. Okay. Answers to the questions that you wondered a few months ago, they just come to you out of nowhere, boom, this is the reason why, boom, boom, boom. That's what just happened to me. I was making a video on TikTok, and it was talking about, I stitched somebody's video where it was some people don't like your light or something, or some people don't want to see you shine. And I had made this video, and I just started reflecting on friendships. And so towards the end of last year, I felt a little alone, because my closest friends, it just seemed like all my friendships, they ended. And so it was one, that it was actually a whole conversation and things happened where that friendship ended. And then the other ones, it was just they just disappeared. And I just started hearing from them less and less. It went from talking damn near every day to not hearing them. I don't know why I can't get my thoughts together. Not hearing from them. And so what just really clicked in my head was that I couldn't attract the friendships that ultimately would be my lifetime friendships, because I had so much work to do. I still wasn't operating in the highest version of myself. I still was afraid of my light. So the friendships that I attracted were other people afraid of their light, other people who couldn't step into their power. They would step into their power in one way, but they still weren't exerting the fullest capability that they possessed. And so that's why those friendships had to end, because I finally started stepping into my power. I finally started not shying away from the person that I was always destined to be. And so a lot of times we get so caught up on, oh, dang, why can't I keep a friendship? Or maybe if you're dating, why can't I keep a man? Why can't I keep this? Because sometimes you need different people to be the tools that teach you and prepare you for what you're praying for. You might not be able to keep a man, because each relationship that you're going through currently is preparing you for that solid relationship. Everything that you're learning with one partner is preparing you for the next partner. And until you rise to your standards, you will continue to attract the same lessons until you'll be no, I'ma just wait, or no, I'ma just, stay solid until I attract solid. And so with that being said, I recognize why I attracted the friendships that I attracted. And so, man, it's crazy because where do I begin, y'all? Where do I begin? So I was so consumed with holding on to friendships that I've had since high school or younger. That was something that I always used to love to do. If I have a good friend or I feel they're solid, I always had to keep people around that knew me before my parents passed away, or at least knew me before my mom passed away. I wanted people to know me before I had significant loss, to keep that familiarity around. And what I'm recognizing is that that's not healthy. Those are not the type of friendships that you want to keep around. And so what I recognized also is that the temporary friendships that would come in my life, they would be indications that I am worthy of more, that, hey, this is what's lacking in your current friendships. These long-lasting friendships that you're holding on to, this is, what's lacking. There are people out here that just want to bless you. There are people out here that want nothing for you. There are people out here for you that don't have an attachment to your success. There are people out here that literally just want the best for you, no matter if they are not along for the ride. And that is out there for you. And so I always hurt my feelings more trying to reconnect with what God has already removed out of my life. I did that temporarily with a guy I was talking to. I just couldn't seem to let him go because it was familiar. A lot of times we stay with things that are familiar because we are not comfortable with the unknown. And it's just it's almost like a spit in God's face. How many times have I blessed you? How many times have I gave you better? And you got the nerve not to trust that I got better for you? Are you crazy? Are you smoking crack? That's what God said to us. Is you on drugs? He probably ain't gonna say it like that, but y'all know I ain't gonna hold it back on here. But I feel like God be trying to tell us, are you tripping? Are you smoking something? What is wrong with you? Because I have showed you time and time again that I can bring you better. I can bring you the best. And so how about you not try to lean with your best, but lean with my best? And so for a while, I would try to lean into my best, what I wanted for myself. And sometimes God will give you exactly what you wanted so you can realize that, you don't know nothing. You don't know nothing. At all. At all. You don't know shit. And that's what I'm really recognizing. And so I'm so grateful that even in the back of my mind, I said this to myself early in life that I don't want to kiss a million frogs. And so God had to really allow me to go a long period of time, even in my abstinence walk, to recognize that okay, you're writing this journal, which I'm going to throw away today. You're writing in this journal. You're writing all these things that this person has to have, all that you want. When you going to trust that, I'm going to work it out for you? When you going to trust that, I know what's best? I'm going to give you the exact partner that you need for the lifetime. Do you want a lifetime partner, or do you want, a temporary, love connection? What do you want? And so, oh my God, as I'm talking, I'm just getting more revelation. So yes, I'm throwing away my husband journal. Ain't no attracting in the world, and manifesting in the world getting away with what God got going. Let God surprise you. I think sometimes we get so caught up in planning our life and planning the things that we want in our life, but we couldn't have wrote the story like God is gonna write the story. We be trying to, and that's why shit don't be going right. It be going all haywire. At least for me. When I had this plan on how I was going to succeed, okay, I'm going to write this book, and then this book is going to turn into this book, and then boom, and then it's going to sell like this. And nothing that I did on my own worked. Nothing that was just of my own understanding. It all did not prosper. But when I just say, you know what, God, I'm just going to let you dry this ship. I'm going to let you dry the boat, okay? I'm going to just let you dry this here ship. And I'm going to just mind my business. I'm going to just mind my business. You ain't got to tell me the details. That's when things started to happen for me. Can we talk about it? I still can't get over how last year I thought that, okay, if I work out this way, if I get my mind, body, spirit in if I get my mind, body, spirit right, if I do this, this, and this, if I stay consistent, if I stay this, stay motivated, stay this, stay that, have a routine, looking at all these gurus, have this routine. If I, do this by this time, wake up at 5 every day, everything is going to work out how I want it to be. But the thing that was really missing, even though I was incorporating prayer, even though I was incorporating reading my word and stuff, like the only thing that was really missing was God. I was following a manuscript. I was following a plan, but I wasn't letting God really take the lead. And so that's the difference from last year. Last year, I put so much effort and I got no results. I was working out 6 days a week. I was eating clean. I was praying, waking up at 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning, praying, working out, doing this, not eating this, not doing this. Posting this many times a day. Posting this a day. Doing this, that, and the third. Doing everything but trusting God. I was running myself crazy, everything. And then I had to hurt my own feelings with no progress until I just let him take the lead. Okay? Like, I had to hurt myself, trying to do everything my way, trying to follow a formula that these gurus tell you. Ain't no formula to success, baby. Yeah, this person might have did, but with your destiny, what God has called you to do, it ain't no formula, because your story is unlike any story that is ever written before. Your story is unique. Everybody's story is unique. Your story is not going to look like Oprah Winfrey's story. Your story may have similarities to this person and that person, but God is so unique that it's billions of people in this world, and he can make you an individual story, personalized to you, tailored to you. Can't nobody else do that but God. So it's just crazy that like last year I was just so, oh my God, I got to stay dedicated. I got to stay focused. I got to stay motivated. I got to do this, that, and the third. This year, I got to let myself go. I ain't even going to lie to you. I've been relaxing. I ain't been working out. Let me tell you that. And I was just posting for fun. I didn't realize how many times I wasn't posting in my mind that, oh, I have to make this amount of posts. And it started that way initially because I was trying to juggle TikTok, juggle Instagram, juggle that. But I wasn't recognizing that I was cranking out over 10 something videos a day without even thinking, because I started just having fun. I started just being like, you know what? This is my life. Now what? Stop worrying about the shoulda, coulda, woulda. Living in the past and living in the future steals your joy and steals your ability to become present. I was the most depressed when I was thinking about the past. I was the most depressed when I was being anxious about the future because everything that I wanted to happen didn't happen on my timing. And it's like God is such like, oh my God, God is so poetic. Can we really give a round of applause? Come on. Can we, like, hold on. I think I got a round of applause button. Okay, can we give a round of applause to God for a minute? Can we? Because let's talk about it. Let's really talk about it. Like, God is so poetic with his shit. My dad's first and only album was called In God's Timing. And I swear to God, that is the lesson that I have to learn my whole entire life. In God's timing. In God's timing. Like, your daddy just had the blueprint, gave you the keys. He said it's in God's timing. But my whole life, I've been trying to do things on my time. I want to get married by this. I want to have this by this. I want to be this by this. I need to make $1 billion by this. I need to be on Forbes under 30 and by this. I need to do this, but this. But see, the thing about God is that, like, He even takes your wants and desires in mind when creating the perfect life for you. Like, your wants, desires, and dreams are in consideration. They probably won't happen no way like you thought it was going to happen. But when God is in it, it's going to be exactly what you needed. More than you could imagine. Like, I couldn't imagine that when I first started growing my platform, like really growing my platform and having the seed to start my platform, that I would get over 50,000 followers in less than 2 weeks. Shoot, as soon as I hit like 10,000, 13,000, I started crying. Because I was like, oh my God, this is really happening. Keep in mind, and you gonna say, this is happening. Keep in mind, last year I had a dream that I went viral. And so I was like anxious in my sleep. Like, everything that happened in my dream, it happened now. Like, I was anxious. I kept waking up. My phone was just going off. And it happened this year. Like, I always have like dreams. And so, you know, because I like y'all like that, I'm going to tell y'all another dream that I had. I had a dream about meeting my husband. And like, it was like God was telling me that, like, I don't gotta worry about the details. Like, it don't matter if you don't go out. It don't matter if you don't got no dated profile. Like, I'm gonna work it out how I'm gonna work it out. Just relax and step into your purpose. And so previously, I thought I knew who my husband was. I thought God told me, child. I thought. But that is who could have been my husband if I was trying to do things my way. But even like now, I just like, I had to be like, you know what, God? I just want your best for me. I don't want my best for me. Because, you know, in 2017, I thought God had revealed to me my husband. Because that's what I had been praying on. That is literally what I have been praying on. And I kept seeing this person's face in all my dreams. I'm like, I don't really want him. But I mean, if that's what you're saying, I'm with that. But I didn't recognize that in the back of my mind, it was because I was being of my own understanding. I was trying to attract things faster. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to start doing this, and I'm going to start dressing like this because I'm going to buy, like, I bought a whole wardrobe, and I was like, I'm retracting my husband this year. I bought a whole new damn wardrobe, and I was like, I'm buying me outfits for my dates because I'm going to start dating my husband. Because we want to manifest everything. And manifestation works. But you get to a point that you recognize that, like, you ain't got to manifest shit. Like, what will be, will be. And if you really let what will be, you will get everything that you wanted and more than you could even imagine, more than you could even dream of. So now I finally recognize why a lot of religious folks on social media be like, manifestation is this, manifestation is that. I won't go too far as to say manifestation is not of God, because I feel like everything that we do, like God knows us. Like, we can't do nothing really without God being involved. But what I will say is that literally, y'all, when I was in that house that I had moved out like almost, over a year ago, almost 2 years now, going on 2 years, like a year and a half ago. When I finally moved out of that house, it was when I let God step in. Keep in mind, child, I was buying all types of manifestation, roll opener candles. I had every type of sage, I was praying every day. I was doing everything, child. I was praying on my candles. I was setting my intentions. I was like, well, maybe if we just mix all this up together, I'm going to mix a little prayer with a little fasting, with a little this, a little that. And I'm going to get me my place. And I was sadly mistaken because I was trying to be of my understanding. But being in that tough time, it really let me know that, like, sometimes you got to go through the uncomfort to really get the lesson and learn the lesson and really apply the lesson. Like, living in that house for 2 years, like a little bit over 2 years, it not only taught me boundaries, but how to still adhere to my boundaries even when it's uncomfortable. This lady, because I didn't want to live with her, because I never signed up to live with her, she literally said the most hateful shit about me to me. And we was just cool. Because my roommate had moved out and I was like, okay, well, you were her guest. Like, I still want to be, like, we could still be cool, but like, you were initially her guest. So if she moves out, I would like for you to move out too, because I didn't sign up to live for you. And, not for nothing, I didn't want to live with that lady. She was hard to live with. Like, even though I wasn't like my roommate that I had, like, we wasn't the closest, I was cool living with her over my first roommate. Like, she was cool before she brung in that lady. She was quiet. She would go into her room. She would just chill and relax. And like, the house was quiet. The house was chill. It wasn't people all up in it. But then when she bought that lady, she was loud, obnoxious. They would be talking till 3 o'clock in the morning every night, 5 o'clock in the morning, every single night, child. Every single night, just laughing at the top of their lungs. I'm trying to go to sleep. Like, every single night, like they didn't got nothing to do. Blasting music, doing this, doing that. Where I literally had to put my television on the highest setting and I could still hear them over my television. So it's like, don't tell me like they not loud. Like, if I have to put my volume up to 100 and I can still hear you and the house not big, you're loud. Like, you're loud as shit. But that also prepared me for where I'm living now, because the walls in my new apartment are fucking paper thin. I can hear when somebody above me take a shower. I can hear when somebody on the side of me take a shower. When they run their water, that shit goes all through my fucking unit. When my next door neighbors and their kids be putting on their shoes, I hear them. Hear their conversations, because our walls are paper thin. So it just got me prepared, but I recognized that, like, it made me thankful that, like, I can go in my room. I can close my door. I can play my music and drown it out. It's nobody in my actual house. You get what I'm saying? So, like, those little inconveniences, it make you grateful because you remember when it was way worse. And it's only going to get better. And that's why you got to be grateful for what you have. You know, when I was making my video today on TikTok, one of my videos today on TikTok, I was just thinking about how I was grateful for the little. I remember when I first started doing reels on TikTok, I thought reels was going to blow me up. Not even TikTok, not even to hold you. I thought reels was what was going to blow me up. Because I was on my Instagram and I noticed that, like, my reels would get so many views. And so many views to me was like a couple thousand, maybe 1,000 or something. Because in comparison to what I post on my page, I may, like, if it does really well, I may get like 50 views. And if my friend shares it to her profile, I may get like 100, maybe 300 views, 300, maybe, 50 likes. 50 likes was a lot for me, right? And so I remember when I was telling this one friend that, like, hey girl, I feel like my reels is going up. Like, oh my God, this is crazy. And keep in mind, it was only like 1,000 something views. I'm like, dang, my reels be doing really well. Like, it was more than one that did like a couple thousand views, 3,000 views. I thought I was in the game. And she was just so dismissive with it. She was all like, oh, okay. She was acting like it was just not a lot. She was like, oh, okay. But to somebody that don't have that many followers that actually interact with their posts, I'm thinking like that's a lot. But it's so crazy how dismissive she was. And like in the month of March, I literally had over 3.6 million views. How do you go from a couple thousand views to 3.6 million views in less than 2 weeks? That damn near came almost out of nowhere overnight. I went from 93 followers to 50,000 followers in less than 2 weeks. Over 50,000. And even though I lost some followers, it's just like, it doesn't matter. Like, and I think like with the shadow banning and things like that, it's just reminding me like that, like, I don't have to get too comfortable. Like, you haven't arrived yet. Like, still work. Like, still do what you was doing. Don't lose the fun. Because sometimes I can get so wrapped around in my own head, like in my own mind. I'm like, okay, I feel like I got to do this. I feel like I got to do that. My posts that do the well are the posts that I do right on the fly, that I ain't thought about, that I don't have a whole, dissertation. It's literally some shit that I just put together. And I found myself like, I was like, this time around, because I've had like different things that like I might got a little bit of views or a little bit of something, and then it would go away. And I would kind of be scared at first. It'd be like a little bit of, a little bit of exposure. And then I'd be like, oh, I'm kind of uncomfortable. That's a lot of people, looking at me. And it's just so crazy that like, I remember back in 2017 when I first switched my Instagram account from a personal page to a business page. And that was before I even had like 1,000 followers on my Instagram. And I was so surprised to see that like it probably was like maybe 700 or 600 something people following me, and 10,000 plus people was looking at my damn page. And now, 5 years later, millions of people are looking at my page. But this time, unlike the time when I started getting uncomfortable, stopped posting and disappeared, because people were just attracted to my page. I'm like, why are these big people looking at my page? I don't know what Instagram was doing in 2017. But it always has been little things in my life where I would get a little bit of exposure and I would close up. But this time, when things started happening, I just put myself into it. Like, you know what? I'm not gonna shy. I'm not gonna run away. I'm not gonna hide my light. I'm gonna let that shit shine bright. And if you don't like my light shining, like, too bad for you. You gonna have to go out of my life. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, it's just so crazy. But I do think, like, even my views going down substantially, it's just like letting me know that, like, to keep humble, stay grounded. As much as you want to flex on people that passed you over or shitted on you, don't do that. Just remain humble. Like, remain humble. Because, it gets to a point where like you're almost surprised. And then it gets to a point where like it makes you mad because people are suddenly looking at everything that you do even more. Because it's like, dang, you had the opportunity to support me when I was struggling and you didn't even want to support me. And so now that you think I got all these millions of views, like now you trying to, oh yeah, girl, da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? And so if you feed into that, because it is going to become a point where like you start to see a little bit more success than you're used to. And at first you're like, oh my God, you're just overwhelmed in gratitude. But when you start looking at them numbers too much, then you start being like, well, bitch, I already knew. And I'm mad that y'all didn't know it first. Then you get to a point where like, nah, now I'm about to shit on you niggas. And so that's actually another part of the reason why I started from scratch on my Instagram, because I had already been, wanting to do that, but I just wouldn't let it go. And so just like I started off with my TikTok, I never really wanted to start over with my TikTok because my first page, it had did so well, my first post, and then it got taken down. And so I was mad. And then like now that I'm starting over, it took me a little longer, but now it's bigger than that first page was. And so I'm feeling like the same thing with my Instagram is that like I'm staying true to myself. And I know my Instagram, it's a new page, but I feel like it's more me. I feel like on my old page, I wanted to keep it because it had the most followers, but none of those people I resonate. It's so many people from the past trying to stay connected with me, just trying to be nosy. It's so many people that I might have met in passing. It's just a whole bunch of like nonsense. People that only follow me because a certain person posted me or, And I feel like God has been letting me know that like I am the only, like he is the only thing that I need. So when I finally was like, you know what, I'm going to just give up that Instagram page. Like I had been trying to hold on to it. And then I end up getting my feelings hurt by someone. But I recognized that like that needed to happen so I could finally just release that page because it was no longer serving me. Like on that page, literally, people only liked my posts when I looked a certain way. And I'm kind of grateful that like I didn't lose a whole bunch of weight last year and I kind of fell off with like working out, because like this moment just let me know like I can be myself. Like cool if I want to work out, but I've always been comfortable with who I was. And the only reason I wanted to change is because I felt like I had to change to get the success that I always desired. I'm like, okay, well, they say you got to stay disciplined. This is what discipline looks like. They say you're not disciplined if you're not this. And like, I never used to eat bad like that or whatever. Even though lately I've been kind of a little off the handle. I've been eating more sweets than normal. But anywho. But yeah, I just recognize that like I can be myself, and I feel like this is only the beginning. I know that like even my cousin, shout out to my cousin Anissa. I love her so much. That is my sister, that's my bro, that's my BFF, that's my bestie. If I ain't got no friends, I know I got a true friend, a great friend, which is my cousin, and I'm so grateful to her. But she was like, you're a real good influencer. And like, nobody has never called me an influencer. I started kind of like, I didn't know how to take it. She's like, you're a really great influencer. And I'm like, don't make me cry. I'm like, oh my God, I try to do what I can. She was like, no, but like, you really listen to people. And so one girl, it was a couple of lives ago, she had came to my live. She was like, a lot of people, ignore people in the comments. but you actually like allow people to come up on live with you, allow people to speak, you allow people to talk and things like that. And so, that's just great. Like, people like, I just feel comfortable, talking to you. And I recognize that, like, I have a lot of people that are young following me. And I didn't realize that until I was, like, on live. And I'm like, oh, my God, why got all these young people following me? But I recognize that, like, I have a power. I have a power of influence. And so all this time I'm thinking I'm supposed to be, influencing the people my age. The people your age is already, stuck in their ways. It's the people under them that still are willing to change that you are meant to influence. And I'm thinking like, I'm supposed to help the people that's my age. Maybe they'll come, maybe they won't. But as I'm recognizing that's like so many young people resonate with me, it's because like, and I know I'm going to be able to cross over to all age ranges, but I don't take that lightly that people feel comfortable enough to want to talk to me. That people younger than me, they want to, reach out to me. And I also just so much stuff is clicking. Just like with the childhood that I have, not being heard, not being listened to, and I listen to them. And I let them know that they matter. And like, they be talking about a lot of stuff, a lot of things that we think that kids ain't talking about, or younger people ain't talking about, younger teenagers or young adults ain't talking about. Like, they be talking about that, child. They be talking about that. And I'm just grateful that like God is putting people on my profile, because there's so many creepers on the internet. And so like, I'm grateful that God is using me in a way that like I can, talk to these younger people, versus like a creeper that takes advantage of, them being young and things like that. So I'm just grateful, and I don't take the position that I've been put in lightly. I know like sometimes when you start to hear the noise of the love, which I'm grateful for, some of the silence and it being died down, is that it puts into perspective how it shouldn't be taken lightly. Because as you start to climb to success and things like that, it's so much coming at you. So many people treating you different just from an increase in followers. And you have to recognize that, like, you are the same fucking person. A follower don't make shit. Like, it don't make shit. It don't break shit. You was cool before that. And it'll be a time that, like, just speaking from me, it'll be a time where you can shit on people. Don't become that person. It's easy to want to be that person that you be like, fuck y'all, I don't need y'all, I'ma shit on y'all. I'm telling y'all, I had an episode where I was just about to start naming names and and chewing niggas out. Like, you know what? Fuck y'all. No, it's power and grace. The truth will always come to the light when it needs to, but it ain't up to you to have to drag people's name, even when they try to drag you, or set the record straight, because God gonna set the record straight for you. So I'm just happy, to be here. I'm just happy to come to you guys and record my podcast, and shout out to my extra little 6 more listeners. Okay, we moving up to the world. We was just at 3, and this gonna be big soon too. Hello. But I just thank y'all for listening to me. I thank y'all for following me. I thank y'all, for coming to my page and seeking some inspiration, and I don't take that lightly. And I'm just grateful that I can use the gifts that God has given me. And I just want to continue to remain humble and continue to remain thankful, so I can help more people. And I'm just excited. You know, I feel like my podcast is really just not just diving into me, but also you guys being along for the ride and being along for things that happen in my life, the triumphs and successes and things like that. And I know the brand deals and the distribution. I was actually sad the other day, like when stuff started happening. I was like, dang, I feel like I'm gonna have to quit my job soon. And I was like, dang, I just started liking my job. But I'm just ready for whatever God has for me. It's not really about what I think my life should look like. I just want God's best for me. So that's really where I am in my life. And I think I'm going to title this Note to Self, because no matter how big I get, I just always want to remember these different types of revelations to remain grounded and remain, the person that I've always been. So I love y'all. I hope y'all have a wonderful week, and we'll talk soon. Toodles.